Have you ever wondered why some men never chase women, yet women seem to chase them? They don't beg, they don't plead, they don't even try too hard. And still, she craves his attention. She obsesses over his validation. She even dreams of being chosen by him. What's his secret? It's not just charm. It's not just money. It's not just looks. It's power. And not the loud, flashy kind you see in movies, but the silent kind. The kind that's almost invisible until you feel its weight. In this video, we're going to explore 5 hidden rules, deeply rooted in Machiavellian strategy, rules that shift the balance of power and make women not just desire you, but respect and pursue you. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you're ready to take full control of your dating life, watch till the very end, because these rules, if applied, will not just change your relationships, they will change how you see yourself as a man. Let's begin. Rule 1, build your value, let her chase. A tale awaits you. A guy by the name of Lorenzo once lived. He was poor. He was short. Additionally, he lacked a six-pack. However, his possessions were valuable. Lorenzo, you see, was a master of his trade. Rather than putting in long hours for ladies, he focused on improving himself. His enterprise flourished. Everything about his attire was impeccable. He was proud of himself, even more so the moment he entered a room. Heads turned. His pursuit of women was the reason they weren't drawn to him. The fact that he was self-sufficient drew them to him. He had a clear goal in mind, and you must become just that. Being valuable isn't about begging to be noticed. It's about being it. The great Machiavelli famously said, "It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? The reason being that respect is earned when one possesses worth, true value. A lack of respect makes love feeble. Even without love, respect may be strong. Eliminate the pursuit. Zero in on your mission, how fit you are, your funds, within you. Because a miraculous thing happens when you work to become a man of great worth. Many women experience it. They have an innate ability to recognize a desirable male. Actually, they're going to. Rule 2, keep some secrets, stay mysterious. Return to Florence, Italy with me. Not only did Niccolò Machiavelli see influential men, but he also saw influential women. The guys who spoke too much were the ones who ended up losing every time. Every emotion they had was laid bare, regardless of purpose, every weakness. And as soon as they did, women stopped caring. Why? Why? Because intrigue captivates. I have a question for you. When was the last occasion when someone spilled the beans to you? Very unlikely. Who, though, can deceive you? Who emerges from hiding? In your imagination, the individual lives rent-free. Consequently, cut off the unnecessary sharing. She doesn't need to know every detail of your history, future, or suffering. Be sure to turn over some pages. Allow her to be perplexed by your whereabouts. Make her wonder how you really feel. She deserves to be the one to acquire the next clue. Simply said, she will cease reading about you once you become an open book. Intrigue compels her to long for what is ahead. And Machiavelli was well aware of this. The mystery around you increases both your anxiety and desire. Rule 3, stay calm, stay in control. There is a turning point in every relationship. A trial run. Perhaps she withdraws. Maybe she's trying to show you that she's interested in someone else while you're looking. Perhaps she doubts your value. And the typical guy? A response comes from him. Concern overwhelms him. He contends. He exhibits feelings of vulnerability, passion, and drama, whereas the man with the Machiavellian streak keeps his cool. Without fail, power at its ultimate level is control. In the realm of attraction, mastering one's emotions is crucial. Allow me to introduce you to Damien. A stunning, charming, and incredibly intelligent woman was his girlfriend. She put him through his paces one evening. She informed him that she'd kept in touch with her ex. The majority of males would have lost it. And Damien? He looked her in the eyes as he sipped his drink and spoke the words. "That's your choice. But I don't compete. I replace." She was taken aback. Reason being, he was not nasty. He didn't shout for no reason. Yet his composure was the key. Having command, not impacted, she then proceeded to avoid discussing her ex at all costs. What is the takeaway now? Stay dry under her nose at all times. Keep your cool under pressure. Submit a strong response at all times. She will have more respect for you if you can keep your emotions in check. Machiavelli was astute enough to see that the one who masters his emotions also masters the result. Rule 4. Know your limits. Expect respect. People do not show respect. Well-deserved. Above everything else, though, it is necessary. A monarch once lived who was well-liked by his subjects, until he relaxed his demands for honor. His decisions were mocked by him. Disregard what he says. They eventually succeeded in deposing him. That monarch is a large number of males going about today. Their start is commendable. Establish some limits. Ask for and keep respect. As time passes, however, they become oblivious to her allure, smile, and attractiveness. They become accustomed to being late. Low regard. Games. They led her to disobey their rules. They end up losing her respect as a result of this. When does a woman's regard dwindle? The spark fades. What are your options then? You start to define things early on. Also, you can't budge them. Make her feel bad about being impolite. Distance yourself if she treats you disrespectfully. Put a stop to her games. Reason being, this is the reality. Women quiz males. They aren't malicious. They just want to test your mettle. How capable are you of taking the lead? Am I safe in your care? Will you refuse to budge? What if you do poorly on those exams? She might choose to remain at your side. She will not desire you, though. If you want to dominate destiny, you have to beat and bruise her. Machiavelli expressed it best. It is better to be impetuous than cautious, for fortune is a woman. I don't think so. Still, firmly standing one's ground. Having the strength to stand firm. In terms of displaying authority, set boundaries. Set them in stone. Deserve respect. More than happy to do so. She will really do it. Rule 5. Preserve your freedom, stay sovereign. Allow me to present Elias to you. A man taken aback by love. Very much, yes indeed. To the fullest. For her he made time. His vitality. His allegiance. The story of his life. He centered his universe around her. And in the process he became disoriented. She loved it at first. Her heart swelled with pride. Something, though, shifted as the weeks went by. She began to distance herself. Cooling down, he implored. He implored. He gave more than that. Then she got up and left. Why? Why? Because he confessed what really makes a man irresistible. His independence. Your power is in your independence. Your autonomy. What is your goal? Your absolute power. If a lady thinks you're not going to use her, she'll probably act accordingly. She wants to get away from you when she thinks you'll die without her. Avoid being dependent, Machiavelli said. According to him, a wise man should always follow the paths beaten by great men and imitate those who have been supreme, which means that even if one's own brilliance doesn't work, at least it appears that it does. Put simply, heed the wise. The hopeless, nevertheless. Remain free. Remain calm. Enjoy your freedom. Keep her out of your life as much as possible. Let her revolve around you. Rule number 6, make her earn you. Never be too available. I have a question for you. When you liked someone, did you ever make yourself available at all times? Before everyone else, you texted. Her responses were anticipated. To be with her was something you were willing to give up everything for. It was almost romantic, wasn't it, for a little while? But then an odd thing occurred. Her body drew back. Her response times lengthened. She grew distant. And you just sat there broken-hearted thinking, what went wrong? I offered her the world. My dear sibling, that is the issue. You spared no effort, all too quickly, in a flash, all too often. Please allow me to introduce you to my friend Zane. Zane was completely smitten with Ella. Stunning, charismatic, brilliant. She made quite reasonable remarks. As for Zane, he was completely devoted to her. Greetings by text message. Reached out each evening. Never once declined. No matter how exhausted or preoccupied he was, he felt he was expressing his affection. However, when love is given to you without any effort, it becomes mundane. Ella quit attempting. During a weekend, she abandoned him. There is no message. No contact. I simply need space, she explained upon her return. Zane was devastated. Nights of restlessness. Flooded with many inquiries. Now what about the reality? Space was unnecessary for her. To pursue, she required some impetus. Zane also declined to offer her one. Allow me to share a truthful, albeit unpleasant, tale with you. You become a burden the second you cease to be an obstacle. That's why going forward you won't pursue. Do not text excessively. If someone hasn't earned your availability, you shouldn't make yourself available to them. putting her in a position where she has to earn your focus. Attention and energy is just not fair. She loves it. She reads and responds to each message. Every minute is precious to her. Your presence is what she desires. If you're currently experiencing heartbreak, if someone broke your heart and then disappeared without a word, what I want you to consider is this. Would you say that you were too accessible? Did you offer her what she needed to be fulfilled? Keeping your distance or being pretend is not the point, you see. Recognizing your value is the key. Despite her kind gesture, she does not get you. You're worth it everything. The objective. She ought to be pursuing the flames. Therefore, from now on, allow her to earn you. Furthermore, what if she declines? Release her. Why? Because you're a genuine admirer and willing to battle for a spot in your life. Rule 7. Never argue. Influence silently. Remember this? It was a chilly night in October. Someone had just dumped my boy Amir. As he attempted to sound acceptable, his voice broke when he contacted me. She stated things like, "You argue too much. You're too emotional and you don't listen. What do I do?" He continued asking. Should I go into detail? Can I just write her a little note? And I informed him of what I'm about to share with you. Quit babbling. Begin to vanish. Most guys think that if they just try to explain it more clearly, longer texts, more intelligent arguments, more proof, etc., she'll get it. She will return. But it's always a bust. Reason being, rational thinking does not captivate females. People are captivated by the way you make them feel. As for whether you're furious, angry, or feeling upset, you're failing to arouse her sexual desire. You're evoking sympathy in her. Her messages from Amir persisted. Pieces of text, calls, taking notes on voice. What did she do? He was blocked. He was completely devastated. How then was he to proceed? He ought to have remained silent. It is not a strategy. It is so. Silence says it all. Respecting myself is more important than begging for your approval. I am who I am. You don't have to convince me. Instead of arguing, I'll simply vanish and allow my absence to speak for itself. Being able to discreetly disappear gives a guy a certain type of authority. Pleasantly unsour, no rage. I have completed it. Additionally, I have something else to tell you. Nothing you say or do can make a lady respect you again when she loses it. But your silence may. She can reflect during such time. You will be missed. To cast doubt on her decision. It returns control to you. Therefore, if you are in pain at the moment, considering penning such lengthy message, if you're mentally rehearsing your reaction to what she said, end it already. Calm down and vanish. The one who is able to quietly depart, she still thinks about this man. The one who gracefully disappeared, not the one who wailed and pleaded. And when she's dreaming in her sleep, perusing past messages, seems like you could have put up more of a fight. When it happens, you've won. It is preferable to act rather than dispute, as Machiavelli put it. So cut to the chase. Sit quietly and let your silence speak volumes. Rule 8. Be unpredictable. Never let her read you. I have a question for you. Has it ever happened to you that someone you loved who used to pursue, you suddenly turned the tables on you? In an instant, you were on the run. She did not care. Anxiety and confusion set in, as if the very foundations of your being had crumbled. What caused that to occur? Listen, I'll spill the beans that nobody informed you. You were exposed by her. Your texting schedule was known to her. She was aware of your reaction. Even before you texted a good morning or I miss you, she understood exactly what you meant. And when consistency comes into play, enigma fades away. Enough about me. I'd like to tell you about Harris. Charismatic he was, sure of herself, a bit untamed. The girl he dated at first was very smitten. She inquired as to his day. For their meeting, she got all dolled up. To see whether he was online, she looked. However, Harris erred thereafter. Everything was plotted out by him. Coordinated our texts, reached out each evening, communicated his actions to her, when, to whom. Mystery solved. The edge is gone. She gradually gave up trying. Listen up, sibling. Consistency is nice, but it isn't attractive. The mysterious is where allure resides. Amidst the conflict, the degree of uncertainty. What on earth is he thinking? Moments. Consider it. Isn't it true that the most thrilling love stories are the ones in which the outcome is completely unpredictable? That anxious time just before sending an SMS, which makes you question whether they were longing for your Presence. The internal struggle of, should I initiate contact or wait? You must retain that vitality. Hold back from telling her everything. Temper your sweetness with distance. After praising her, step back. Just remark, I've got something going on, and your plan will be scrapped, just because you're joking around. Reason being, you're bringing it to her attention. Your actions are unexpected. Power is within you. If you're currently experiencing heartbreak, losing the spark might be the reason someone leaves you. Please keep this in mind. That you weren't good enough wasn't why she left. Your predictable nature was the reason she departed. And as soon as it occurred, her imagination ceased. Curiosity left her. Her emotions faded away. Be the man she doesn't understand. No, it's not because you're chilly. It's that you're wearing too many layers that she hasn't earned. Surrender to her curiosity. Leave it up to her. Her next step should be pursued by her. You transfer authority in that way. You regain the spark in that way. Because of that, people will remember you forever. Rule 9. Be ready to walk away always. I will lead you into the most traumatic memory you likely have. At the first sign that she was considering you as a replacement, perhaps she ceased responding to SMS messages. Perhaps she made out with other men in your presence. I need time, was maybe her statement. Plus you remained. You were afraid of losing her. As a result, you maintained your patience, sorry, and moved on. Sold out, contemplating, if I love her fiercely enough, she'll return. But here's something no one warned me about when I was in your shoes. Whoever refuses to go when he should, wanders aimlessly, eventually ends as lost. That is the fate that befell Arman. He felt an overwhelming, abiding affection for this girl. Initially, he had her, his entire world. However, as she began to withdraw, engage in manipulative behavior and show him disdain, I stayed. I am loving you if you hold on, he reminded himself. However, months went by, and she departed nonetheless. Plus, he didn't merely let her go. Forgot who he was. His self-assurance, the arrogance, his vitality. He drew a blank over the meaning of respect. Have you ever experienced love with someone who brought out the worst in you? When faced with various possibilities, have you ever pleaded with someone to pick you? So allow me to share a profound truth with you. Walking away won't make you lose ladies. Staying when you shouldn't is how you lose them. You will be challenged by a lady. She plans to test your resolve by crossing the line. Do you not? Her credibility plummets. And when dignity is lost, the spark fades. A clever man does what an idiot does ultimately, according to Machiavelli. The dweeb remains. A sage goes on a stroll. He loves it, that much is certain. He is aware of this, though. Everyone else will select someone else if I don't. If you are now experiencing discomfort, my brother, if you're just hanging around for her to return, consider the following questions. Does this environment allow me to become the guy I aspire to be? If that's not the case, after that, have a stroll. Carry oneself with grace. Keep quiet as you walk. Get back on your feet like you've forgotten who you are. Reason being, the moment you depart, even 1,000 texts won't be enough to make her understand what you meant. Tell the world, I am the prize, by being silent. I refuse to beg. I make no attempt to pursue. I select myself. Rule 10. Love her but never lose yourself. How about I ask you a personal question? When did you first experience love? I didn't merely like someone. I mean the type of love that consumes you to the point where you can't live without her. Could have been in high school, perhaps a 4-year university. I can think of a time not long ago. All thoughts of her awoke you, tossed and turned, hoping against hope that she would respond by text. As a result, all love songs became logical. It was ideal for a time. However, concerns started to surface afterwards. She evolved. She withdrew a little. She started to withdraw. Where do you stand? Your grip was firmer, offered additional, loved it more, hoping that would solve the problem. However, this was not the case. On the contrary, she recoiled even farther. She vanished one day, in a flash. You couldn't help but fixate on your phone, reciting old texts, again reading her name, hoping, begging that she would return. Does that ring a bell? Trust me, it does. Why? Because I can relate. What I did learn, though, was this. Love her deeply, but never to the point where you sacrifice who you are for her. This aspect of heartache, you see, is taboo. When you love someone deeply, you risk losing yourself in the process. Nobody tells you that. With her, you lose touch with your past self. You cut off all contact with your pals. Your workout routine comes to a halt. Your aspirations become dormant. You withdraw within yourself, hoping that she may rediscover the love she felt for you when you were first dating. But remember that man? He had an irresistible aura of self-assurance and charisma. He passed away the moment you devoted yourself to her. So if you're here at this very moment burdened by memories, even now just saying her name stings, you may still relive her laughter, smell, and touch if you want to. If so, you should follow this rule. Make your selections now. Once more, once again, once again. Oh, I adore her. Your love for your tranquility, nevertheless, can never surpass it. Always be true to your mission. At no point greater than your own value. She is free to leave. Her texting habit is unnecessary. She has the power to block, ignore, or even replace you. However, you shouldn't let it discourage you from prioritizing self-care. Because the only man who can make it through a broken heart is the one who can keep in mind his identity prior to her arrival. Construct a new you. I recommend going to the gym. Launch that company. Mingle with strangers. Make another one. Then laugh one again. Return to life. You're still alive, my brother. You're barely out of bed. Finally. The day will come when she views your portrait and notices the radiance in your eyes. Later on, she'll see that the man she ran away from eventually become the one she never deserved. Love is profound, yet he will always be there. The correct one will not demand that you sacrifice who you are just to hold on to her. And if you're currently healing, if you're finding it difficult to let go of her memory, keep in mind, your narrative will continue. It marks the beginning of your ascent. Conclusion. Those people are now familiar to you. Amass wealth. Maintain your air of secrecy. Put your feelings in control. Ask for and keep respect. Guard your independence. Stay accessible at all times. Persuade via being there, not through using words. Remain a mystery. Prepare to stroll. Your objective should surpass love in importance. Here are some ground rules for more than simply dating. These principles pertain to power, the kind that Machiavelli researched. This is the type of thing that old monarchs did, the type that elevate common folks to legendary status. Make use of them. In no uncertain terms seeking vengeance, do not attempt to manipulate. But for mastery, gain self-mastery. A lot of ladies will need you, not simply desire you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.